Okay, today we're going to be talking about some different products that will help you refine and make your environment a little more efficient. Get some of those cables and monitors and keyboards and stuff out of the way that are normally blocking up large swathes of your desk. So first thing I want to talk about is the Lenovo ThinkCentre. They make a really nice little mini computer. They make a 710, it's called an M710Q, which is a Intel-based mini PC. It looks just like this. And then they make a AMD version, which is the 715Q. This is actually the AMD version. We've started rolling these out since Intel had a shortage on chips going back in November, December of last year, and you just couldn't buy computers, and our customers needed new systems. So we moved a lot of our customers over to the 715Q model with the AMD chip, and it's been really good. It performs the same as a Core i5. It's a Ryzen 5 processor, and it's just been a great little computer, and it saves you about $100 on cost over the Intel version. So these are very small. They have a lot of mounting options and things you can do with them. You know, if you just sit it on the desk, it comes with a little bitty stand. It still doesn't take up a lot of space, but then there's more things you can do with it. For instance, you can use this mount. It's a really interesting way of getting your computer out of the picture, right? You can mount it to a wall. It's got where you can put screws through it. So this actually goes in here like this. And you can put screws through it and mount it to a wall. Or, as we like to do often, is we put them under desks. So if you've got a wood desk, you can mount that underneath the desk and kind of have it out of the way real easy. Have all your cables nice and managed behind there. But you still have a monitor on your desk. So Lenovo has this really neat monitor that is a 10-point touch. And it has a built-in mounting in the back of the monitor where you can actually mount this, and I'll show you that in just a minute. Okay, so on this monitor, this is the back side. You've got a little hatch here that you can open up, and you can't really see it easy from the video, but there's a lot of connectors in here that terminate in here so that it can pass through these connections to your monitor and allow you to use that 10-point touch in conjunction with your computer. But on this other side, it's got a little panel. We're going to pop that out, and that's pretty much just disposable. So then you take your computer, and it's like a cartridge. You just slide it in there, and then you can screw that in, get all your cables set up, latch it back down, and now you have nothing on your desk but a monitor with one cable for power for both the computer and the monitor, and you'll have one Ethernet cable that provide data to your computer. So it really does save a lot of space, but it gets better. Give me 1 second, I'm going to mount this in a different way and we'll show you how it works. Okay, so I've taken the monitor off the stand. So this is the monitor. You can see the stand behind there. So when you take the monitor off, it has 4 screws in here. The only reason those screws are there is so you can take them out and then mount them to an external monitor stand, which I'm going to do now. Okay, so this mount is called a VESA mount that mounts to the back of this computer. So you've got the 4 holes and they match up with these. And there's different diameters of VESA mount, but pretty much standard on most monitors and most monitor stands now. So we're going to mount this on here so that you can see how it'll look. Okay, so now what I've got is I've got my little thin computer. It's mounted in here. I'll go ahead and pull that out so you can see it. So that's my little bitty computer. And it just slides right into this monitor. I'd run 2 cables. One is my power, right here. And one would be Ethernet coming out of the mini computer to plug in to get your network connected on your computer. So now you only have this thing sitting on your desk. So you've got all this extra desk surface area to work with that you didn't have before. It gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot more room. You could actually probably shrink a lot of office desk space down because mostly what people need is maybe a place to sit paper, a keyboard, a mouse, and a monitor. And the monitor takes up a tremendous amount of space. So great way to free up your space, make things a little more efficient in your environment. We strongly recommend this kind of configuration. Now, we have another way we can configure it. Like I mentioned, under the desk, we can do that as well. But what if you have your own monitors already? You don't want to get rid of your monitors. You don't need a 10-point touch. All you want to do is save desk space. So you can just buy yourself a mount like this, or they have ones that are on articulating arms so you can move it forward and backward. This is probably the cheapest mount you can buy right here. Amazon, less than 50 bucks. So you want to do that. Well, that's where these mounts come in handy. You can take your computer out. Slide it into here. And now you can mount that here, and you can mount your monitor on the other side of this. So you can have this without having to buy a new monitor. These little brackets are less than 50 bucks. So you can have this with your mini PC in it, a monitor on one side, and a mount monitor pole on the other side. Now, some monitor stands will even accommodate this. Now, this one from Lenovo will not, because of the way it's designed for a quick detach. But you can end up saving a lot of time and space being able to do this with not a lot of cost. You don't have to, a lot of people think these poles are really expensive, and some of them are. You can get into some medical grade, medical provider solutions where they have their own solution. It's $1,000 for a desk mount. Well, you know, if you're just buying these on Amazon, there's no real need to have something that is sold from a medical grade supplier necessarily. If there is, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But this is really an inexpensive way to get your monitors and your monitors mounted with things out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a second and get this mounted under the desk so you can see how it would look under there. So I've got my little computer. Now this one, they do have Wi-Fi on these little computers integrated. I think it's on all of them. We don't use it typically. There might be a time we need to, but we don't normally. So I've got all my connectors. So we just slide that in there. Oops, I've only got one screw in it, so normally we'd mount that properly. So then you can take all your cables and mount them under here and get that all bound up nice and out of the way, and you can still have your monitor on the desktop out of the way. So instead of reaching over and hitting the power on the monitor, you can have everything here. You've got your USB ports nice and accessible right here on the front. And again, none of this is really expensive. All told, you can probably do this for less than buying an Intel computer with monitor, keyboard, mouse, PC, and the mount here. So, okay, so we've got our monitor up here, and I would have one cable coming out of the monitor. I'm sorry, two cables coming out of the monitor. A VGA or DVI cable coming over to this computer down here, coming down the back, out of the way. And then I would have a power cable going to power. From this device here, I'd have a power cable going to a power strip somewhere under the desk, an Ethernet cable coming out, going to a wall plate to connect to the network. Typically, most people are doing wireless keyboard and mouse, so I can put my wireless keyboard and mouse dongle for Logitech or what have you on the back. And then I can have access to USB ports on the front. I can power it on, turn it off, plug in headphones, everything I need to do right here. So that is, I've actually got it upside down. That is really all there is to it to free up a lot of space on your desk, get you guys where you're a lot more efficient, your environment's cleaner, and you're making better use of the space you already have. Real estate is expensive, especially in healthcare, and so being able to make the most of the space you have is very important. Now, most companies don't get to see solutions like this unless an IT provider shows it to them or they work for a large practice with IT professionals. The purpose of this video and many of my videos going forward are going to be to show you technologies and solutions that will help your practice or your facility become more efficient and use the technology to make your company more productive. Ultimately, that's our goal. We all want to be as productive as possible. Well, that's all I've got for today. If you'd like to learn more about these solutions that I've shown you in this video, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Brian Largent. I'm with the ArcLight Group. Thanks. Have a wonderful rest of your week.